If you were on my Twitter last night, you know that this title is not clickbait and that this story is true and that this genuinely is the video in which I discuss how you could make the argument that I am killing my father. So, for those of you who are new around here, my dad has cancer. It's prostate cancer, and it metastasized to the surrounding soft tissues. It did not get into the bone, which is what everybody was worried about, but cancer that metastasizes anywhere isn't good. And for those of you who don't know, which is probably all of you, my dad is old for a dad of an 18-year-old. He is 68. You better not repeat that age. But yeah, he's old. And so he has old people cancer, by which I mean incurable, going to kill you if nothing else kills you first cancer. So, he was diagnosed in December of 2014, and we were then told that he only had 6 months to live. Clearly, that was not true. We passed the 6-month marker, whatever, his numbers were looking good. The number I'm referring to is PSA, which is something made specifically by prostate cancer. And it's an indicator of how much cancer is present. He was at 69, which is like huge, and then he went down to 4, and now the goal is to keep it under 2, but you can't. We're all just really buying time here. We're buying time and quality of time, and we don't know how much we're trying to buy, or how much we're going to get. But, so his blood work came back, and last night we had a big family meeting, and if you live in my house, you're terrified of family meetings, because they involve conversations about death, or how we don't have any money, or something not good. We never have a family meeting about anything good. And they being my parents, said that my dad's cancer is more aggressive now. So his current treatment regime is not effective enough, so they're pursuing other medications. They're maybe tripling something, maybe taking him off of that thing completely. We're really trying to nickel and dime our way towards $1, as his doctor said, but there's no way he can just hand us a dollar bill. And all of these treatments are destined to fail at some point. From the beginning, we know there's no through cancer, like Hazel Grace said. Or at least this cancer. Like a lot of cancers, you go through. But this one, you go until it tells you to stop, and then you're dead. But we live within driving distance of NIH, which is the National Institute of Health. And NIH has a miracle program, which sounds super sketchy, but is a miracle program. In like 60% of the old as sin people with terminal cancer, they've gone into remission, lived to die of something else, which is what we all do. And in the other 40%, there were unprecedented increases in quantity and quality of life before it killed them, or they died of complications due to cancer. So it sounds perfect, and he's a perfect match, but it's sketchy because it uses a mutated version of the smallpox virus, as in the I killed the Native Americans smallpox virus. We don't even vaccinate people because it's so dangerous smallpox. We eradicated it from the world completely as far as we know, and keep it in only 2 bottles in NIH under round-the-clock security detail because it is so dangerous, smallpox. That's the smallpox. They mutate and inject in these cancer patients. And it works. So my dad is a perfect candidate, and as far as I could tell, last night they were going to tell me he was in this new program, and I was super excited because it would be the first positive cancer news and the first positive family meeting. But such is not the case, because there is one drawback. one flaw in my dad's ability to join. Me. I'm the flaw. Because my immune system is broken. Like, a cold keeps me out of school for a week because I cannot fight it off. I cannot do things. I get so sick. I can't get the flu vaccine because the flu is really, really dangerous. And any exposure to the virus is really, really dangerous. You better believe that if I got the smallpox virus, which all of us would have to get, that I would die from the virus. And if I can't get the vaccine, there's no way I could be around somebody who actually has smallpox. Now, I hear the clack of your keyboards as you're all typing in the comments. Why don't you just separate yourselves? Have him live in the hospital, or you go spend time with other people, or whatever. But it's not a one-time treatment. He will have the smallpox in him until it stops working, and then after that until it gets out of his system. So until this miracle fails, I will not be able to see my dad again. Ever. And because he's old, he has other health complications, like he could have a heart attack, or he could have another brain bleeding, or whatever. And he very well could die before I could see him again, before I could talk to him, whatever. And depending on where he was in the treatment, his corpse could be so infectious that I wouldn't even be able to see that. I don't know why my parents chose to tell me about this smallpox treatment, especially considering they then told me that because of how sick I am and how deadly it would be, they are foregoing this treatment plan. They're calling quits on it before it begins. And they are pursuing these less effective, less dangerous for me, medicines that are destined to fail because they are just not good enough. So, because of me, he's going to die of this cancer. I am killing my father. Now, I'm in a lot better of a place than I was last night. I've talked to a couple of people, and I am okay with it. It is his choice, and his choice indicates the great love he has for his family, especially me. And it's my fault, certainly, that he can't participate, but you can't blame me. There's no one to blame, really. But if you can blame anybody, it's him for making the choice. Because I didn't choose to have this genetic illness. I didn't choose for it to activate around this time last year. I didn't choose for him to have cancer or this type or this severity or be offered this treatment. And I certainly did not make the choice for him to refuse. And if anything, I ought to respect it, his decision, well enough to celebrate the time he is spending with us instead of mourning theoretical years that might have been miserable and might not have happened at all. In addition, as a Christian, I believe in the eternity of the soul and life after death and the resurrection. And so I really ought to be grateful that he's going to die. Because it means he's going to go to heaven, which, if you don't believe in Christianity or any sort of afterlife, sounds insane. But if you do, probably makes an uncomfortable amount of sense. So all of this boils down to I'm being selfish and making this tragedy about myself, but it's not even a tragedy anyway. And I just really needed to talk about it, I think, online. The elephant in the room. But, like, yeah, there's just nothing to be done about it, and I am grateful that he loves me enough to make what I consider a stupid choice, but I also know that if it was me in this position, even at this age, I would choose the time with them, because he'd probably die of old age while I had smallpox in me. Though, of course, this would never happen to me, because I would not be a good candidate for this. So I guess that's the end of this video. Was it informative? Yeah, you know how old my dad is, old as sin, and all sorts of other stuff. Leave a like, or a like for support, or whatever. Was it inflammatory? Or are you a sympathetic human being who has wise words of wisdom? Leave a comment. Was it intriguing? Subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter or Tumblr using the hashtag AskAzaria, or the direct messaging system on Twitter, and the asks on Tumblr to be in our next Just Asking Monday. And just be so grateful. Be so grateful for every day you get to spend with the people you love, and cherish them, because you don't know how many more of them you're gonna get, and it never hurts to have a friendly reminder of your mortality. Hope you have a great day. Bye.